You always hear astrologers talk about someone with Uranus in their 6th house not being able to stick to routines or a 9-to-5 job. And that's the obvious. But there's one little thing that a lot of astrologers miss with someone who has this placement. Imagine this. It is your 26th birthday. You decide to throw a little birthday party for yourself. I mean, after all, you've been working hard and you deserve it. Now, Uranus hangs out in your 6th house, so of course, something weird is bound to happen. But hey, you're used to it. You send out your exclusive invites, you book a gorgeous venue, and order a scrumptious cake. The big day arrives. The party could not be more perfect. Lots of people show up, the cake is delicious, the music is popping, and you're having an amazing time being surrounded by those who love and adore you. After a while, it's time to open your gifts from your fabulous friends and family. You start opening these beautifully wrapped presents and become amazed at how well your friends and family know you. Next up is a special gift from your Uranus in the 6th house friend. Now, you know he's original and a tad bit unconventional to some, but you know he has a big heart. So you cannot wait to see what he got you. You unwrap it and imagine the surprise on your face when you discover that your little friend got you a real live pet monkey to take care of. No warning, no instruction manual, just chaos with big eyes. What would your first words be when the shock wore off? Now, here's the kicker. This is actually a true story. Michael Jackson really gave Whitney Houston a pet monkey at her 26th birthday party. And in this video, we're gonna take a deeper look into why this gift actually makes perfect astrological sense for both people who have their Uranus in their 6th house. What's up, my buttercups? We are currently doing a series of Uranus throughout the houses, and oh my goodness, my little routine rebels. How many of y'all have made a morning routine or a daily routine or a to-do list and swore you were going to stick with it no matter what, only to have something disrupt you a couple of days later where you weren't able to complete it?
Oh yeah!
Hey, it happens, especially with your Uranus in this specific house. But that's the part of you that is obvious to most people. Let's look at the things that are not so obvious to everyone. There are 8 things that you must know about someone who has their Uranus in their 6th house. The 6th house is an important house in your natal chart. It covers a lot of things in your life that show up in your day-to-day happenings. So some things are super easy to tell with this placement because they aren't kept hidden from the world. Let me tell you, the 6th house is traditionally ruled by Virgo, and that sign loves health and wellness. So someone with their Uranus in their 6th house may have some unusual health and wellness habits. They do look for the ideal way to maintain good health, although they might not be consistent with their healthcare routine. You may find these natives have a revolutionary diet. So they can be the vegetarians or vegans, or they can subscribe to a carnivore diet or maybe a no sugar diet. They can be picky eaters and cut certain foods out of their diet. Whatever their diet consists of, it can seem different than what most other people consume. And these natives may rebel against traditional authority figures in health. They naturally rebel against what the norm is in society anyways, so you may find someone with this placement questioning doctors and the man-made medicines that they prescribe. They can be independent and do their own research on health-related topics and come up with their own conclusions on what is healthy for the mind, body, and spirit. And they can follow less conventional paths to health and wellness. Sometimes you find these natives attracted to alternative medical practices, things like acupuncture or energy healing, holistic medicines, or mental health strategies. They may even have an exercise routine that involves their pets. Maybe they go walking with them every day, or go jogging with their pets, or do yoga with a goat. You know, Uranus is ruled by the sign Aquarius, and Aquarius is a sign that is well acquainted with the future. So you may find these natives participating in cutting-edge health trends. They could be the ones doing the genetic testing to see what diseases they're predisposed to. Or maybe they use technology like AI to create a diet or a workout plan. They may try all kinds of different trends when it comes to their health. Uranus is the planet of advancement, not consistency. They may even start a trend among their coworkers or their friends with their unconventional approaches to health and wellness. And Uranus is the planet that rules over your nervous system. So there could be a great focus on the nervous system and mental health strategies with these natives. Because of the connection to the nervous system, these natives may have to learn things like breath work or grounding exercises like meditations to calm their nervous system down and to help regulate it. And this brings me to my second point to know about someone who has their Uranus in their 6th house of their birth chart. They may experience abrupt health issues. So this can manifest in conditions suddenly appearing. The natives could also have health issues that are hard to diagnose because the symptoms are unpredictable. They also may not be affected by sickness like the general population. So they may actually have a rare side effect to something, or it can manifest in a positive way where a disease doesn't affect them like everyone else. You may even find that this native has issues with things that Virgo rules over in astrology. So maybe food sensitivities. I mean, just think about it. If you have a peanut allergy and you have a reaction, that can be an abrupt health issue that arises. You may also find digestive issues happening suddenly, like acid reflux, or nerves that make them feel nauseous and unable to eat. You can find health issues in things related to Aquarius as well. Things like ankle injuries such as sprains, strains, or fractures that is caused from sudden movements or instability. Maybe unexpected cramps in your calf muscles. These natives can also have issues with blood circulation. So things like high or low blood pressure, plaque buildup in your arteries that restricts the ability of blood to flow effortlessly. They can experience things like varicose veins or deep vein thrombosis. Uranus is a restless planet, let me tell you. So you may see some restless leg syndrome or ADD or ADHD. And again, it deals with the nervous system. So things like nervous tension or anxiety could crop up seemingly out of nowhere. This placement does have a focus on mental health because they are aware when things are off balance. Uranus is not exactly the most stable planet, so you can see things like depression or borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder. Someone with Uranus in their 6th house could have nerve conditions as well, or issues surrounding their spinal cord. So things like Bell palsy could happen where there is a sudden paralysis of the facial muscles in the native. It's a random thing to happen, and doctors are still unsure what the cause of it is. It wouldn't surprise me at all if someone with this placement has visited a neurologist at least once in their lifetime. And since Uranus is the great planet of disruptions, these natives may find that they have a hard time falling asleep or staying asleep throughout the night. They could suffer from insomnia or an erratic sleep schedule. It's hard for someone with this placement to shut off their mind, so they may not be able to get their full 8 hours of sleep every night. They have to learn to liberate their mind with this placement and to free themselves from over-analyzing things. And it's very possible to experience random workplace injuries with your Uranus in your 6th house. And not just your injuries that you would expect at a job. I'm talking about the most random things that could possibly occur at work causing an injury. Like freak accidents that have a 1 in a billion chance of actually occurring kind of accidents. Who remembers Michael Jackson's hair catching on fire while he was shooting a Pepsi commercial? One of the special effects let off a spark that ignited the hair gel that was in Michael's hair. He actually had to have major scalp surgery because of this injury. Mariah Carey was filming a music video and fell and dislocated her shoulder. And then there was George Clooney. He was taping a movie and he fell. But the way that he fell was just in the right way that he actually severed part of his spine that holds the spinal fluid. Talk about random and painful. Now, George is actually interesting because it was a severe injury and he actually approached the healing method in the exact way that I would expect someone with this placement to do. He used medical treatments, he changed his lifestyle around, and he did mind shifts to overcome this life of chronic pain. These natives can become quite resilient when it comes to overcoming obstacles related to their health. The third thing you must know about someone who has their Uranus in their 6th house is that they can have an erratic daily routine. This is one of those things that this placement both loves and hates. A boring, mundane life where you wake up at a certain time and do the exact same habits over and over and over again would make this native go mad. Like literally, they would go crazy. They do like change in their day-to-day life. But it's also hard when you live in a world where everything is so structured. So try as they might, these natives may make routines or checklists and never be able to keep a consistent schedule. There's just always something that happens that's just random that comes up and it's hard to maintain that stability. These natives will learn to embrace spontaneity and allow for a little variety during the day because no matter how much the best planner plans, you seriously have no idea how your day will unfold. I will say this is why these natives may use or have substance abuse issues. If you think about it, when you have an addiction to some substances, it will manifest this erratic day-to-day life quite effortlessly. And because these natives live a daily routine that is unconventional to our society, it brings me to my next point. They can be seen as eccentric in day-to-day life. They have a very abnormal planet sitting in a house that is all about structure and societal norms. Uranus is the eccentric planet of our solar system. Most other planets all spin in the same direction. But then Uranus comes in and it's like, heck no, I'm not being like everyone else. And it decides to spin on a 98-degree tilt. Whee! These are the kids that may have felt different than others. Even as adults, they do quirky things that others may find weird. They don't always fit into society. So they may have been called a freak or felt like an alien on Earth a few times because others just aren't like them. And they may even be the quirky coworker, which gets me to my next thing that you should know about someone with Uranus in their 6th house. They can be quite independent at work. They don't like to be micromanaged where someone stands over their shoulder and watches every single thing that they do. They are going to need space and a freedom to do things the way that they want to do them. You know, Uranus is already a planet that has a natural authority problem, so they aren't going to like the boss that just barks orders that they have to follow. They also may attract jobs where they get to travel about or they get to structure their own day. They definitely need a little freedom within their job and day-to-day change where they are not in the same environment with the same people doing the same things every single day. I used to own a business, and let me tell you what, one of my best employees had his Uranus in his 6th house. If you allow this native freedom, they can shock you with how they can use that creativity to come up with new and innovative ways to do things. There were so many things that this native changed about my business. And everyone always called him lazy because he would find shortcuts to complete the job, and he would have free time because he was efficient. I thought he was an absolute genius. We always joked that he worked smarter, not harder, which I didn't mind. And I'm telling you right now as a business owner, some of your best employees are the lazy ones because they find ways to get their job done quicker than everyone else. And as long as it's right and it meets the standards, I don't mind to adopt those practices so everyone can become more efficient. Now, I know not every business adopts this atmosphere. So sometimes when they're in a job that they aren't supported in, they can seem like the employee or the coworker that is just radically different. And this can cause the native to have an inconsistent relationship with their jobs in life. Like I said, Uranus is not the planet for consistency. With this placement, abrupt changes can occur with your employment, just like that. Things like getting a random job offer while you're already somewhere working, or getting fired randomly, or being in a company that suddenly has to lay off workers, or maybe the business just up and closes one day seemingly out of nowhere. Or maybe you're just holding your tongue at work and pushing through, and then one day someone just pushes you over that edge, so you make a whole scene and quit. Or like I said, it's possible to have a sudden accident at work that prevents you from returning back to work once that injury is healed. You know, Uranus switches signs about every 7 years. I feel like that's why we get that 7-year itch. After a while, the job can just seem unfulfilling, so it's time to move on to bigger and better and more exciting things. And these natives can attract some jobs that may be shocking to others. They may even end up at a job that seems unconventional. You know, Aquarius loves technology, so you can get your income from the internet. Maybe you drop ship things on Amazon, or you're a TikTok star, or you have a big following on your YouTube. Being an influencer is not what most people would feel is a safe traditional career, but I'll tell you what it is. It's a job that allows you your freedom and flexibility. So it would be perfect for someone with this placement. Really, what the native is discovering this lifetime is liberation from the normal job that society thinks you must have in order to become successful. You came here to share your gift with the world, whatever it may be. And you can do it in a radical new way with the internet. So you may be interested in health, let's say, and traditional society says you have to go to a school, umpteen million years, go into massive debt, do an internship, and then boom, become a doctor. Uranus in the 6th house says, I'm gonna record a video of my workout routine and post it and get millions of views and become monetized. Now, I will say income has a tendency to fluctuate because jobs are always shifting with this placement. Typically, you're not going to find someone that has Uranus in their 6th house working at an office job for 50 years and then retiring. They are going to have changes occur within their jobs that they have in life. Now, the next thing that you must know about someone with this placement is actually quite interesting to me. The 6th house in astrology is the house of pets. I am always intrigued at the native's relationship to pets with this placement. They almost always have a unique story to tell regarding pets or animals. I've seen it manifest where the native has a rebellious attitude towards pets and actually doesn't like pets or small animals. And this seems kind of like a rebellious way to feel because it seems like everyone loves dogs or cats or some type of small pet. So you can seem really different if you don't like them, or people can think that there's something wrong with you and they just can't accept what your likes and dislikes are. It's kind of like if you say you don't like seafood or something. People will always try to get you to try it because they like it, so they think you will like it, even though you know you won't. Uranus is such a unique planet. That's why I love it. It dares to be different. So you can also see these natives having different kinds of pets. They may have a snake or a lizard or a parrot or a monkey or a pig. George Clooney has this placement and he had a pet pig. Millie Bobby Brown has her Uranus in her 6th house and she has a donkey and a rabbit and some turtles. These natives can also find themselves abruptly getting new pets, just like Whitney Houston at her birthday party.
Yay!
Or maybe their friend is moving and can't bring their puppy with them, so they give it to this native to take care of. Or maybe the person with Uranus in their 6th house fosters pets and they can just receive them suddenly. You know, Uranus is a very humanitarian sign, so you can definitely find that these natives can have an urge to rescue animals in some way, whether that is adopting them or trying to nurse an injured animal back to health. They also may do quirky things with their pets, maybe even treat them like humans by dressing them up or painting their nails or taking them around in a stroller. They also can come up with some unique yet catchy names for their pets. And actually, they can become a trendsetter in this department. So they may name their pet something totally original and discover that others actually end up naming their pet that too. They can also love pets that have a little bit of independence about them. So the pets that aren't clingy and needy, but rather are there when the native needs them. Now, the downside is that you may find something abruptly happens to your pet. So maybe there's a sudden illness or a sudden accident with them. I've even seen where a native had an incident where one of her dogs was dog napped one day. She was totally not expecting that. So tell me, if you have Uranus in your 6th house, what is your story with your pets? I will say, when they do have pets, they love them a lot. And this brings me to my final thing that you should know about someone with Uranus in their 6th house. It is that they have quite a potential to be an ethical humanitarian. While the 6th house isn't traditionally a humanitarian house like the 11th, Uranus brings a humanitarian energy wherever it lands in your natal chart, especially for the themes of service or reform or progressive ideas. This is a placement that gives energy to the native to handle a quick and stressful work life. And it's sitting in the house that serves others. So you can find that the native's job itself can be a vehicle for social good. These people can thrive at jobs like firefighters, EMT, or ER nurses, where things are not the same every single day. And these people can have a hands-on approach to helping others. They aren't the ones to just necessarily throw money at a charity. They think about how to help those around them that are suffering. They also have this fabulous ability to build better systems. They are visionaries and can pioneer new systems that change how society currently is. That's why you may find them wanting to reform healthcare systems or how we treat mental health. Uranus wants to disrupt and reform. And if you have this placement, you may be passionate challenging outdated norms. This could mean working with others about workers' rights, mental and physical health reform, animal rescue or animal rights, or tech-based solutions for social issues. You might find yourself gravitating towards an unpopular or underfunded cause. Things others overlook. Uranus doesn't just follow trends, it follows justice. And these natives may also just do their little part in the world just by making ethical choices in their day-to-day life with this placement. So maybe using a reusable water bottle instead of constantly buying disposable plastic ones, or using tote bags for groceries versus the plastic ones. Just simple habits that they incorporate in their day-to-day life that helps make the world a better place. So tell me, if you have Uranus in your 6th house, what do you do to make the world a better place? Leave a comment below because you never know what could actually inspire others. Mwah.